I thought Ultimate Custom Night was one of the simplest games in the series. I was wrong. At the time, it seemed rather straightforward. This was William Afton's hell and being kept there by Cassidy, the spirit possessing Golden Freddy. Then something happened. Security Breach happened. This is where we found out that William was still kicking around. Sure, we saw some version of William in FNAF VR, but we were still unsure at that time what to make of it. However, once we saw William back in that old suit, we knew it was the real deal. And it wasn't just him. Cassie was back as the princess in the Princess Quest arcade games. And looking at some of the staff bots, maybe Charlie as well. And then there's the one that questioned it all. The Blob. This thing, right here, sucks. We all thought the spirits had passed away in FNAF 6, but clearly that wasn't the case. The games even doubled down on this fact. In Princess Quest, when we first meet the Glitch Trap virus, we can actually find the other spirits. Notice the 4 extra pair of eyes. There's even a 5th spot reserved for Cassidy. Even with all this evidence, many theorists were unable to accept this. One major theory that I've seen is that the spirits had actually moved on, and what we see left over is actually Agony. The problem with that is that Agony and Remnant seem to be one and the same. In FNAF AR, you collect different types of Remnant. Each color is representing a different state of that Remnant. Agony seems to be Dark Remnant, Remnant that has been fully corrupted. So either way, in that FNAF 6 fire, all that Remnant should have been burned away. Unless the games are trying to tell us something. It might be possible that Dark Remnant or Agony is just a way stronger version of normal Remnant that is able to withstand that high temperatures. And this will lead us right into Ultimate Custom Night. First, we have to establish what Ultimate Custom Night really is. Some people believe this is actual hell. However, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. They seem to be in a in-between state. Kind of how like we see the spirits in this series. They're obviously dead, but they haven't passed on to the afterlife. I believe William is being kept in this in-between state to be tortured by Cassidy, the vengeful spirit. With that basis down, I started doing research. But what I found surprised me. All that stuff I was talking about earlier about Security Breach was all set up in Ultimate Custom Night. There seems to be a lot more spirits than just William Cassie at play here. The first obvious clue here is Old Man Consequences. This man first showed up in FNAF World, but with his appearances in Ultimate Custom Night and now Security Breach maybe, it seems he might also be a spirit. I mean, him and Cassie literally hold up a conversation in this game. So, if it's possible that other spirits can be here, then who else is here? For that answer, we're going to have to move on to the puppet. In fact, the puppet's death line spell out the entire game for us. Charlie has 2 sets of voice lines. The first set's pretty obvious. It's Charlie taunting William, saying him powerless.
Seeing you powerless is like music to me. I recognize you, but I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore.
Now listen to this next audio tape, and then you're going to realize the shift.
The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
And it's that word aware that sets everything else into motion. It seems that Charlie might be aware that Cassie is the one pulling the strings. Let's look at those final voice lines, shall we?
The others are under my protection.
Alright, this line tells us 2 things. Number 1, other spirits seem to be here. As disappointed as you may feel, it seems that fire in Pizza Sim didn't actually get rid of all that remnant.
I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way.
This final line just kind of confirms it for me. This line wouldn't make sense if it's directed at William. He is powerless to do anything here. So how exactly is Cassie getting in the way of Charlie? Well, think about it. What is Charlie's overall goal in the series? Sure, it's to protect the other spirits, but it's also to help them find rest. Cassie is keeping the other spirits from moving on, therefore getting in Charlie's way. This seems to actually tell us the overall story of Ultimate Custom Night. Even after the FNAF 6 fire, Cassie is keeping William and all the other spirits in that fire from passing on. And remember that line about Charlie saying the others are like animals? It seems like Cassie's forcing these other spirits to play in this little game she's created. But the fact that Charlie uses the word animals makes me believe that Cassie is corrupting these other spirits, possibly turning their remnant into Dark Remnant. But the story of Ultimate Custom Night doesn't stop there. I believe the story of Ultimate Custom Night is really just a battle between Cassidy and Charlie. We can actually see this battle take place in the game's intermissions. You see, in Ultimate Custom Night, after hitting certain high scores, you are given a cutscene from either one or two stories. These two different stories are more like two different sides of an argument. The first one I'll be talking about is Toy Chica, the high school years, which seems to be Cassidy's argument. Toy Chica here is really William Afton. Toy Chica talking about how she's going to get her next boyfriend is really William's plan to kill the next child. This is Cassidy stating her argument of how William doesn't deserve to move on, that he deserves hell. The second set we're given is Bear of Vengeance. This seems to be Charlie's argument on the matter. I don't find these characters to be a one-on-one representation, but rather they represent a side. We have Foxy, who represents our group of evil. These would be characters like William Afton or Elizabeth. Then we have Freddy, who represent the people who seek justice. These would be characters like Henry and Charlie. So what's the argument being made here? It's Charlie saying that, hey, William has escaped justice for his crimes time and time again, and in Peterson we finally won. We set that fire to end his reign of terror. It's you, Cassidy, who is taking this win away from us. You are preventing our win by letting him live on. But we see this argument doesn't work, as we see Cassidy still twitching in that Golden Freddy suit, unable to let go. But as we see from FNAF VR, we know Charlie was right. William's able to escape into the FNAF VR game, and well, we know the story from there. So that's most of Ultimate Custom Night Saw. There's just one more thing I want to talk about. I need to talk about one of the stranger characters part of this roster. This game is Nightmare Yon's first canon appearance. Assuming we're not counting FNAF World. There seems to be some consequences to Charlie's failure to convince Cassie to let go. Like I already established, I believe Cassie is corrupting all the other spirits and turning the Remnant into Dark Remnant or Agony. I believe that Cassie transforms Charlie into this nightmarish creature or Nightmarion as we know it. This is important to note because as we see in FNAF Help Wanted, it seems that Charlie as this nightmarish creature is escaping back into the real world. I know FNAF Help Wanted is supposed to be a recap of the series, but Nightmarion has no canon appearances that the Fazbear Entertainment team should even know about. But, as we see in Security Breach, it seems that she's no longer limited to the virtual world and is now escaping back into the real world. I mean, just take a look at some of these statbot heads that we see in this game. This is a darker version of Charlie that's going after William, dragging him back to the hell he crept out of. And this is really the secret story of Security Breach. It's Cassidy and Charlie returning back to the real world to capture the escaped William Afton. But hey, that's all for now. If you enjoyed watching this video, hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. And I love feedback, so please leave a comment below. Alright, bye.